Give thanks and praise. Much love. Much respect. So Mercury is fully in retrograde. It is, it's pretty impactful. It's pretty heavy hitting energy this time around, as we are entering into Mercury's domain, rolling through Taurus and into Gemini. It is a very powerful time of year as the energy is building and exploding upward. All of that vertical expansion and lifting of awareness as the sun reaches that summer solstice here in about a month. So I've got a lot of messages piling up on my doorstep, and I gotta work through them and share them and make room for the next bunch of messages. So this video will be focusing very much on that Gemini and Mercury being in retrograde and all of the signs and symbols and relationships around it. This time of year is like a hypersigil in itself. There are so many events and memories of the collective that are exploding like flowers from the earth and revealing themselves. This is the revelation as the little sprout that came out of the soil as it is beginning to express its leaves and all of its potentials, and the flowers are opening. This is a very powerful season of revelation as we get higher and higher on the sun's declination. So on Analima, we are right around this point. We are coming up onto the top of the head. And on the zodiac, we are just in this range right here, going from Taurus into Gemini. And other important elements will be at 180 degrees across the zodiac from where we are. This is the underworld aspects. This has that 180 degrees of propinquity, and number 18, that is the moon card. It has reflectivity. So some of the ingredients that will be very important going forward, and these are non-linear. I put them in this two-dimensional format to express them and share them and relate to them. However, we are talking about the sky clock where things are three-dimensional and circular and not nearly as linear. So what I'm trying to say is my minor decans are in this order just for the sake of writing them down and organizing them. However, you can look up the minor decans in other people's arrangements, and you can find that Aradnus is not always in the center. Sometimes Orion, sometimes Auriga, under the zodiac sign of Taurus. These minor decans, there's 36 of them, and depending on who you talk to, they will be slightly shuffled around. But that is only because of the differential between the actual physical sky clock and putting it down in two-dimensional format to encode for us to enjoy. So Auriga is the chariot. Uranus is a river or stream. I have heard that it corresponds with the Jordan River. Orion is the hero or the hunter. And I have heard it said that Orion walking next to a river, Uranus, is not dissimilar to Christ walking near the Jordan River. Then we will be coming upon Lepus. This is the ultimate rabbit hole. This is the bunny rabbit in the sky. Lepus is very close to JFK's birthday. So there's a lot to say about that. Then we have Canis Major, Canis Minor. And we cannot forget that 180-degree line draws us right down here to Ophiuchus. We are in opposition to Ophiuchus right now. We are approaching JFK's birthday, and we are approaching JFK's death day. And I've made videos on this before, but JFK was born here in Lepus. His brother died a few days later on the calendar. Not a few days later, years down the road, but in proximity to JFK's birthday, RFK died a few days later. Same thing, 180 degrees. RFK was born just a couple days before JFK was killed under the sign of Ophiuchus. So these aspects will be very powerful. They will be drummed up again. You will be hearing JFK trigger terminology and stories. I could say part of it is by design. It is partially orchestrated. It is also partially divine. There is a shared responsibility in this. You know, a lot of us, we want to say, oh, it's the controllers. They're making up these stories to fuck with our brain. And that's, you know, partially true. They are harnessing natural events, natural elements, in concordance to their will. That is happening. However, we cannot dismiss the power of the fact that these are natural elements. These are natural elements. They're available to all of us. Nobody has domain or control of them. And we, myself included, are just students of life learning the value of these elements as we cycle through year after year. So Ophiuchus and Lepus, very powerful 180 relationship. So going forward, aspects of Scorpio are going to be very powerful as our 180-degree relationship changes from Scorpio and rolls into Sagittarius. But for right now, we are absolutely going to focus on Scorpio because some stories have come forward that are very powerfully centralized on this Scorpio relationship to where we are in the sky clock. So minor decans of Scorpio, Serpens caput, that is, I think that's the head of the serpent. It could mean decapitated serpent. I'm not highly familiar. Hercules, another hero figure down in the underworld hero, and Ophiuchus. And you will notice that Hercules and Orion are two heroes, two hunters, two machismo badasses. Some could say that Orion is Gilgamesh and Hercules is Enkidu. There's definitely a there. Some would say Orion is Gilgamesh and Ophiuchus is Enkidu. I kind of like that one a little better, but either way, today headline came out and it is just packed full of these ingredients. So I would love to unpack the story of the passenger who landed his own plane for the first time with no experience whatsoever because his captain had passed out for undisclosed reasons. And you know what I think it was. You damn well better believe you know what I think it was, because we're talking about the kiss of betrayal. We're talking about Scorpio. We're talking about the kiss of Judah. And so the Scorpio kiss of betrayal strikes the pilot and he passes the fuck out. And some newbie, some first timer, he has to take the wheel and land this airplane. And the event took place in Florida. This is quite compelling. As many of you know, Florida is in powerful correspondence to Scorpio on my territories map. And I'll try to bring in some graphics to prove that out. But as you can see on my tiny little zodiac here, if you follow that angle, that the fixed sign of Scorpio, it goes right in perfect alignment with Florida where these events took place. Now, if you look at Scorpio very closely, you will find that its relationship to the tarot cards are the number 12, the Hanged Man, and number 13, the Death card. And the Hanged Man is very much like the pilot who passed out. He's bound up. He's tied up. He's in the underworld. He's unconscious. He's gone. He's not even there. And the passenger who takes the wheel, he takes on the qualities of the inexperienced passenger, because the Death card is a skeleton who is riding on a horse, which I call the Flower Rider. He's the Flower Rider down in Florida. And so the inexperienced passenger, he is much like the Death card in so many ways, because on the Death card, the king is dead on the ground. That's the pilot passed out. The sovereignty is gone, and this inexperienced plebe has to take the throne briefly. And after he lands the plane, the news that has broadcasted this story, they won't interview him. He's gone. He's missing. He's wearing the helmet of Hades. He's wearing the invisible helmet, much like the Death card. He is missing. He's gone. He's not there. He's unaccounted for. It's quite amazing how this one little story has a million little hyper sigils just packed into it. And so when I myself kind of boggle at how it seems to be a small percentage of divine and a much larger percentage of man-made fabrication, but it's just amazing how well it fits. As we have up here in this, where we are right now in time, we have a chariot. Auriga is the charioteer, and he's driving this chariot, much like the airplane. Also, Auriga has a little goat on his shoulder called Capia. So he even has a sacrificial passenger in his chariot. And I have to point out, we are talking about a plane. A plane. 180 degrees is a plane. The word plane is encoding the moon card. Moon card is 1/8. And 180 degrees creates a perfect plane. So I find it very powerful, very meaningful, very special, that story of the airplane, which I'll try to link in my show notes down below. It absolutely is a wonderful example of how these elements of the sky clock of time and space are being played out in front of the eyes of the masses in a very fascinating fashion. So I think that ties up what I wanted to say about where we were. I don't know if I mentioned already in this take, but this is about where we are. We're cresting the crown. We're coming up onto the crown of our Analima. We are just coming out of Taurus, turning into Gemini, and here in another month or so, we will be at that pinnacle, at the tippity-tip-tip top. So that essentially culminates a lot of what I wanted to say about the events today. However, there is something else going on that I need to put on the record, using almost the exact same style of analysis. and it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Thank you very much to the lovely Carrie, Quantum Carrie, for bringing this to my attention. You are a gem and a treasure. There is a relationship on the zodiac that I am becoming quite fascinated with. And that is about a week ago, I was just absolutely fixated on Argo Norvis. This is the ship of the Argonauts. This is a boat. This is a vessel. It's a very significant constellation. And it is right at the between Cancer and Leo. I absolutely think of this as representing the placenta in the most major way. The sails, it has sails. The sails are the cells of the self that propel us, that compel us forward. So Argo Norvis has been on my radar. It's just absolutely fascinating. And 180 degrees across the zodiac, well, would you look at that? We have Delphinus, the dolphin, a constellation relating to the dolphin. And Carrie has brought forward the fact that the dolphin relates back to Delphi, the Temple of Delphi, and also she has done analysis on the word Adolphi and Adolphus. And essentially what we have discovered, thank you, Carrie, is that the word Adolpha relates to a twin, a brother, or a womb. Ladies and gentlemen, more placenta in the house. There's way more placenta in the house, and it's blowing my damn mind. This means that Adolf Hitler, his name is encoding the placenta, the womb, the brother, the other half, the devil on your shoulder. You could call that name, Adolf, you could call that the devil on your shoulder. And we have been vilifying it for 3 to 4 generations at this point. Very amazing that the placenta is getting another bad rap. Just through a single word, and all the implications and connotations that go along with it. So powerful, so meaningful. And no coincidence, it's down here in Capricorn. No coincidence whatsoever. Sacrificial first goat offerings, no doubt. But another component with my Diction of Aries work, A-R-I-Z, Diction of Aries. Something really beautiful comes to light. Thank you, Elsie King. L is number 12. 1 plus 2 equals 3. 180 degree reflection across the board. Delphinus is number 3. We've got a 3 to the 3. I would venture to say this could be the original 33 relationship. I know that's a broad, bold statement. I'm feeling broad, I'm feeling bold. So, those are some things I really wanted to relate to everybody, and you will be hearing me use the term propinquity principle. It's such a good term. It's so significant, and I want everybody to know that when I speak of it, I am talking of the plane. I'm talking about those 180 degree relationships, the 1-8, the moon card, propinquity, the reflection, the proximity to, the likeness of, all will be crucial lessons for me as I try to share the far and wide elements of this far out vision. All right, folks, much love and respect. I'm going to do another quick little video here today. Got to get some Doctor Strange information on the record and empty my cup, as tonight's the big night. I'm going to go see the new Doctor Strange, and I already have a shit ton to say about that. All right. Much strength, much love, y'all.
Keep your chins up.